Hey, Sedge, I hear you talk a lot about Pozidrive and Phillips, but when I look at them and I look at the hardware, what's the real difference? I'm
glad you asked. Okay. So I get this question all the time. And if we can come in here, I'm just going to draw it out. If I'm looking at a screw head, okay, everybody knows that's a Phillips, right?
Right.
But when you see something that looks like a Phillips, but then you have these extra little marks right here, that's a Pozi-drive. Here, I'll show you the screw head. Look, we'll stay right there, Chris. We'll shoot in here. Can you get a shot of that? See that? That's your typical Phillips. That's your drywall screw, right? Okay. That's a coarse thread right there. And then these are your coarse thread 5mm screws. But look at the top. You see the little marks on the top there?
Yeah.
Okay, so we see this as all kinds of European hardware. Well, we used to call it European hardware. Now it's this hardware that we have for all our kitchens and our cabinetry and our drawer slides. Okay. Now when you look at a Pozidrive screwdriver, check this out. It looks like a Phillips, but you'll see the extra spline. Okay. Here's your traditional Phillips. Okay, you don't see that extra spline in there.
No.
So if you've ever adjusted your kitchen cabinets, and you got all kinds of adjustment screws on your hinges nowadays. Okay, so if your cabinet doors are yawing or tilted, or you need to move them in and out or create the perfect reveal in there, that's what those screws are for.
Okay.
So a lot of my friends over the years have always used a Phillips, and they had no idea, and they would get stripping out the screws, or they'd get cam out. And if we come back in here, Chris, I want you to see this. If I take a spline drive on this screw, you're gonna see how it seats all the way in. And you can actually hold the screw just like that. Where with a Phillips, it doesn't seat all the way in, and you have a tendency of stripping it or camming it out. It just doesn't feel right. So these are your coarse threaded screws, and that holds right there in your Pozidrive. You get that extra surface area to bite on.
Okay.
And where this really works, we can swing in here. See, these are your 32mm spacing, and when you're setting up drawer slides or hinge plates, these go right in like this, and you can see how that coarse thread just bites right in there.
Right.
And you see how it's not camming out?
Yeah, there's no movement.
There's none. So you have no slippage. That's the difference between Pozidrive and Phillips. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, for sure.